Happy Sunday! Yay! So sorry I'm a few minutes late, but I really wanted to set up the kitchen for you guys because we're gonna do a little bit of baking today, and we're gonna do a channeling. That's right, we had a tie in our viewer poll, but we'll get to that in just a moment. First off, hello, hello, welcome. If you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and we are going to be diving into a little bit of baking for Cake Day today, which is honoring deities, goddesses, gods, ancestors, but also as well. If you would like to learn a little bit more about me, you can check out my information down below, checking out kittensweightsandtarot.com, as well as our witchy shop, Desert Cauldron. I say our because James and I are the owners of Desert Cauldron. James has his own crystal shop called Light of Riga that you can find on Etsy. Yeah, and you can find us on the social medias, obviously, other than YouTube. But yeah, you could check us out on Instagram at AZ Offgrid, where we talk about like our little homestead life, but also at Light of Riga if you want to go see what James is up to, at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot if you want to see what I'm up to, or any witchy stuff that we're doing at Desert.Cauldron. All right, well, let's see what you guys are doing. Let's go back here. Goddess Seeker says, blessed greetings, divine sisters. Susie is here. Hello, hello. Susie drew Mary Magdalene, Mama Kocha, and Ishel this morning. Ishel is my matron goddess. I love it. Liesel is here. What up, chica? Peg is here. Hello, lovelies. Happy Sunday. Hello, hello to you. Peg's like, can I just say I love cake? Well, you've come to the right place, my darling. Looks like everybody is here for cake. Oh, Liesel can't eat cake no more. Well, energetically, I think you could soak up the vibes. Let's see. Lisa says it's the sugar and the gluten. Yeah, I have to use spelt flour because although spelt flour has gluten, it doesn't upset people who are gluten intolerant. So James has a gluten allergy, so I always have to like make sure I make mine somewhat gluten free, and I always have to tone down the sugar because also he has sugar intolerance. So Edgar is here. What up, my dude? Lisa's like, I want that top. Dude, check it out. It's like it's this like long, like t-shirty thing from Dahlia's, if you remember Dahlia's back in the day. Like I couldn't afford Dahlia's in the mail order catalog, but now I can, so there we go. Let's see. Edgar says, I'm ready for the poison cake for diabetics. Alrighty then. Yes. Peg says, I voted for Brigid. My firstborn's name is Brigid. Oh, so cool. Well, as most people know, I was almost a Brigid. And then Goddess Secret says, sorry, Tara, I can't do this anymore. I've literally no more left and I can't. Oh, sorry to hear this. Well, we are here for you. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, but know that you can reach out to us anytime and you're always welcome here. Okay, well, let's see. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the voting poll. Okay, so on my YouTube public page, I have a poll that I do usually on Thursdays, and I have 4 things that you guys could vote on for the theme for Sunday's live chat. And we actually had a tie because I factor in my patrons, so thank you patrons, and I also factor in my YouTube members, and you know who they are because they have a little colored kitty head right next to their screen name. So taking in all of those votes together, it was actually a tie between a channeling of the goddess Brigid and also Cake Day. So making little cakes for our ancestors and deities. So we're going to be doing both today, and I figured I could do the channeling while the cupcakes are baking. So yes, we are making cupcakes. I figured since instead of one ginormous cake, what if we did like little mini cupcakes, especially because, you know, James and I don't really eat too much anymore. And, you know, we try to stay away from too many sweets. Although I love to bake, I end up giving most of it to the forest. But anyway, so I have all of my goodies here. As you can see, I have everything lined up for us, so I don't really have to rummage around too much and, you know, be boring during our live chat. That's the trash in the background. Sorry for the trash can. Peg says, oh goddess, we can't have that. Please cancel, cancel, delete those feelings and place them with at least 5 gratitudes. We love you. Exactly. We do love you, Caitlin. Susie said, love, love, love. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start off by warming up our oven. And actually, I need to put on an apron so I don't mess up my shirt. Okay, so let's do that. And okay, we have our Hello Kitty apron. And if I have to put up my hair, I have my clip and my clip. Just because I don't want to get hair in the muffins, that'd be so gross. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. And I have back when I was teaching at the high school, there was a teacher friend of mine whose friends made aprons, and so she ended up making this apron for me, which I totally dig. Okay, there we go. And now I can put my lighter in my pocket. Okay, Susie says, and you have my fave earrings of yours. Dude, I love my little aliens. My little aliens. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this oven going. And you know what? This trash is kind of like ugly to look at, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. There we go, much better. All right. Okay, so it'll take me a little bit to get the oven lit. Kind of a stubborn oven, so give me un momento. And by the way, how is your Sunday going, everyone? Any plans for today? Are any of you guys doing any baking today? Do you have anything planned for the week? There we go. All right. Okay. So we're going to get that going to 350 degrees. All right. So take you guys create this. Go ahead and put my hair back anyway. I don't think I want hair everywhere. Okay. A little clip will do ya. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Edgar says, Goddess, I know exactly how you feel. It's okay to feel like that. Feelings like nobody sees or understands you, but try to remember that there are people who really do care about you. I back Edgar on that one. And Susie says, Caitlin, you are welcome here. I agree. Liesl says, I've been playing a variety of instruments today, building a couple of new guitars next week. Nice. Peg says, you have your home, the internet, you don't sound hungry, there's sunshine, you have legs to walk, lungs to breathe, a nose to smell, ears to hear, you have your health, a voice for those to hear. Exactly. So many wonderful, beautiful things. Everybody has their own unique gifts to share. And sometimes, actually, I would say a lot of the time, we're not even aware of the impact that we have on others. And sometimes it's just in our passing. When we pass by people in, the grocery store, or maybe just when we're standing out and about, or when somebody glances upon us, they are invited into our energy. And sometimes that's enough to shift people and make differences, but we don't, since we don't interact with like every single person that we meet, we may not be aware of the impact that we have. But I know that we all have impacts because we're all energetic beings, and we're literally bumping into other energetic beings on a daily basis. Even if we feel alone, we're connecting to animals, plants, the sky, the elements, basically, and all of those elements are connected to us. So thus we feel one another all the time. Okay, I want to go ahead and get us started. So I'm actually going to get started in putting together our dry ingredients. And Edgar says, Goddess, you do make a difference. Sometimes it's hard to drown out the negativity and see. A joke you say may make someone's day. Yes. And Peg was suggesting maybe joining a book club from the local library. Oh, that reminds me. Thank you, Peg. Perhaps if anybody is interested in books, or Caitlin, if you're interested in a book, I just checked this out from the library. I haven't read it yet, but it does sound interesting. It's called Shakai, Woman of the Sacred Garden, and this is by Lynn V. Andrews. And it seemed like she had quite a few books in the library, so I want to see her other books as well. But this one really caught my eye. I'll do a little, just a little ditty of what the book is about. Okay, Andrews, who's the author, shows modern women how the principle of the captured landscape, a finite place that contains the infinite mysteries and power of nature within it, can speak to all women who seek to find within themselves the abundance, tranquility, and peace of nature. She guides women to understand that the yearning we all have to return to the wilderness is really a search for the wilderness of our own souls and the powerful harmony of Mother Earth. And just as Shakai's timeless knowledge can be used to heal the individual spirit, Andrews discovers how it can also help us to heal the earth. Now more than ever, Andrews believes the natural world is in jeopardy because human beings have unleashed such power through our technology that we are like children given an unsheathed sword. Shakai offers the potent knowledge that our power does not have to hurt ourselves and others. Power can be transformed when we gain a spiritual understanding of ourselves. Ultimately, Shakai leads the way to this understanding, teaching the essential balance of mind and heart. So I thought it would be a fun read, especially because I kind of perused it a little bit. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to check this out, but I'll be reading along with it. It's probably going to be the book that I recommend in my newsletter that's coming out March 1st, which is next week, which is crazy. But yeah, and by the way, if you guys are interested in the newsletter, I only email you guys once a month, and that's on the 1st of every month, and that's just the newsletter. So I don't spam or do any of that. But if you're interested in some witchy goodness, sometimes I do recipes, sometimes I do spells in there. I always talk about YouTube channels that I'm watching or listening to, books that I'm reading, crystals I'm using, tea blends that usually I create myself. So I like to give you guys the recipe on that. Herbs, just all kinds of goodies. So if you're interested, the link for the newsletter is also down below, but you can also check it out through my website. Let's see, Edgar says, always remember also there will always be haters no matter what you do. You just need to learn to ignore them and surround yourself with people who love you. Ah. Susie's like, Tara reading this to us and her outfit, whoa. Peg's like, dig in the Area 51 earrings. Do they have names? I should name them, I think. Edgar's like, Goddess, I'm so alone. I have no friends. I just learned that as soon as I stopped paying, all my so-called friends disappeared. I was just being used. I find that there are times when James and I can feel incredibly alone. I know that we do have friends. You know, a lot of our friends are on the interwebs, and then we have a few friends that we've known from the way back. But I would say it's less than the number of fingers on one hand that I would consider like my close, like in-person friends. But even then, they are so far away, it would take hours and hours to go see them. So we've kind of redirected our understanding of like who our friends could be. And being out here, like I've made friends with, the trees and the plants and the animals, and they really do speak to us. And I know that like to the to the average person that sounds cray cray, but I've just learned to find myself in other things other than other human beings. And other human beings, sure, I like having contact with them, but I just I'm just learning to feel abundant in the way that I'm I'm always surrounded by energies that I can connect to and speak to. So whether I want to talk to the wind, I want to talk to the clouds, I want to talk to the sun, the stars, um, I'm literally never alone. But I understand. I know sometimes I can feel very much alone, knowing that my family is like 12, 13 hours away, and not really a part of the family anymore. And many of my friends I did have to let go of in order to pursue what I knew my higher self wanted me to. So I totally understand. But we all view that, I think, differently. And I think that that's what the chat is great for, is because everybody here has a different point of view and a different offering of wisdom, and being able to help us to see things in ourselves that maybe we have a hard time seeing. Let's see. Susie says, Edgar, you're a great person. Our buddy John is here. What up? Edgar says, I have never been in a relationship either. I understand loneliness all too well. Doug says, I think when we are spiritually minded, it's hard to have many friends. For me, it's more genuine connection with people. A lot of my connections are online when you're in a smaller city. I agree. And Caitlin is understanding what Edgar is saying. Doug says, Tara's right as well. There is so much in nature to connect with us as well, find meaning. As I'm getting older, it's easier to sink into the who I am. Aw. And Peg says, loneliness is a tough one, but the more you focus on lack of the more lack of the universe serves up. Give yourself a hug. You are divine and whole and healing. Yes. And Edgar says, Goddess, I learned not to deal with these types of people. I don't try to convince them. All right. I say, let's go ahead and take some of our magical creativity, which we all have. And I know that baking like cupcakes can seem just like a whatever's thing. But for me, I'm, part of that communicating is in the things that I create. So whether it's creating a drawing or creating something through baking, or I'm creating something for our shop, I'm trying to communicate with all of the items while I'm doing it. So although I appear alone in the kitchen, I have these items here, which are energy. They're not just, outside of this universe. They are, if everything is us, all of these different ingredients are aspects of myself. And so I want to treat each of those aspects with respect, because I know they're all going to come together to create something beautiful. And I feel that that's a metaphor for humanity. We're all different, quote unquote, ingredients. We all have different aspects, and we may feel very alone at times, but when all of our energies combine, whether we are physically together or not, we create something beautiful. The something beautiful that we have created is the collective consciousness. And we are also part of Gaia's consciousness, which she is also the collective consciousness. And so in creating these cupcakes today, it's really just a symbol of showing how each of us, as different as we are, can create something wonderful. You know, maybe an egg on its own is bland, but you add in our friend vanilla, you add in, you know, our friend, you know, baking powder and flour and sugar and butter and all of these things. And all of a sudden you have something amazing, something that they wouldn't be able to fathom on their own. The egg doesn't know it could ever be a cupcake, you know, or anything else. The flour doesn't know what it could be, but you start mixing it with all these different energies, and all of a sudden it's something beyond its wildest dreams. It's, you know, if it had an ego mind, its ego mind would never be able to fathom something like that. Edgar says they are set in their ways by the most part. It's talking to a wall. Yep. Susie was maybe recommending speaking to the nurses at the facility. I agree. There are many times that, you know, I have needed to really speak to someone. I've spoken to counselors in the past, psychologists, when I just felt overwhelmed. There were times in my life that I felt absolutely lonely. I felt like, what's the reason for me being here, my purpose? And I really felt like opening up and speaking to those who are qualified to help me in those areas really helped back in the day, back when I was in college, when I was in grad school, back when I was teaching and things like that. I found them to be very helpful. All right. Comfy Cozy says, hi Tara community, what kind of cakes are you going to make? We're just going to make simple vanilla cupcakes, which is symbolic of us. Susie says, me too. I just had an appointment last week. No shame in it at all. Exactly. All right. Pegs like cupcakes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my dry ingredients together. We already have the oven warming up at the moment. So let's do 1 1/4 cups of flour. So let's get down. Let's get down and dirty. All right, so I actually have a very large bag of flour over here. I use spelt flour. I mentioned earlier because it's easier for people that have gluten intolerance. And actually, people have found out through research that the gluten intolerance started after the Great Depression, when people went to the wheat flour, and, you know, kind of the regular bleached flour that most supermarkets have today, because it was cheaper to do, it was easier to do, and since it was the Great Depression, it was like, okay, we could save money doing this. And then after the Depression left, like, we never went back to our old flour, which was spelt, and other types of flour that were harder to break down. But in doing so, it was this kind of refined flour that we have now just wasn't very good on our systems. And through generations, we've kind of created these gluten intolerances, you know, as well as other factors. But that's just one thing that I learned. So I'm trying to go back to what we used to do. Okay. All right, so 1 1/4 cups. All right, so there we go. That's 1 cup. Put that off to the side. And 1/4. I may need to add a little bit more flour. I noticed that sometimes with the spelt, I do sometimes need a little bit more flour than the recipe calls for, but I just kind of have to feel it out, you know, use my intuition. All right. Just kind of looking through. I love how supportive you all are. You're all very wonderful people. Okay. So we have our flour in here. Next, we're going to do 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. All right. So let's do that. Where's my teaspoons at? We have 1. There's 1 teaspoon. Okay, do we have the 1/4 teaspoon? There we go. There's the 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, now this one is actually an empty jar, but it has the little lid on it, whereas my new jar doesn't, or the lip. And you kind of have to be precise with baking powder. So I just use this old one to like get it nice and precise. So there's 1 and 2. So 1 1/4. Do. Okay, just pour the excess back into the thing here. All right. Okay, I can take this out of the way now. Okay, and then I believe salt is next. So we have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Is this my teaspoon? Yep. All right, and I'm using pink Himalayan salt. All righty. Okay, and again, putting my intentions, kind of talking to the ingredients in my mind, I suppose, thanking the salt, which came from the ocean, thanking it for its energy, thanking the flour, you know, for its energy, thanking the baking powder for coming together and helping things to rise as it will. And right now we have a little party going on in this bowl, so we're going to get these guys acquainted. And now they have become something new. You put 3 friends together, they've created something quite marvelous. All right. I'm sorry if I can't see all of your comments right now, but it seems like you guys are having a wonderful discussion at the moment. All right, so next it says we're gonna put together the butter and sugar. So I need to soften up some of my butter. I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup of butter and 3/4 cup of sugar. Okay, so there's my 1/2 cup and 3/4 cup. Okay, and for that, I'm gonna put that in my big mixer, which is over here. All right, so the butter, I said, has to get softened. So I'm actually gonna warm it up a little bit in the microwave. And I'm just gonna get my spatula. Okay. Okay, so 1/2 cup of butter. All right, let's do this. I kind of use I can't believe it's not butter. Okay, that's about 1/2 cup. And we're gonna put this in my little Pyrex measuring glass here because we're gonna warm it up in the microwave. Not too much. I don't want melted butter. I just want soft butter. It's better for the creaming process. Okay, just make sure I get all the butter bits. All the bits of butter. Do. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Okay, let's go ahead and put this in for 30 seconds, baby. All right. And we're going to put this in my big mixing bowl, like I said. So we're going to move this out of the way. And we'll do something with that later, but not right now. Okay. So let's see, let's catch up. Oh, we have some other friends that have come in. Comfy Cozy Lunar, hello, hello. Wondering what people did for the full moon yesterday. Hey. Astrolight says, hi Zuzu, I got lost in the reference point earlier in the stream. I'm just being here present at the moment. Busy day, I am here. Yay! Hello, Astrolights. John says, you got to talk to the thinks in your life, the thinks you make and eat. Yes. Edgar says, into the book, The Secret. Oh, you know what? I remember reading that way back in the day. Peg says, it's not your fault, and what lesson is trying to teach you how strong you are and how you are enough. You don't need anyone to complete you. Yes, Edgar says, Goddess, right now is the prime time for you to work on yourself, work on your healing. Things will slowly but surely start to fall into place, I promise. Yep. John says, I drank the blue lotus tea for the first time last night. Soothing. Oh, dude, did you like it? Did you add anything else to the blue lotus tea? I love it so much. And yeah, I mixed that with, what the heck? The butterfly pea flower, and a little bit of vanilla. So if you have those two ingredients laying around, see if you can add that to it. Super good. Susie says, I may have to try that, John. Yes. Okay, so it looks like our butter is nice and soft. So we're going to go ahead and put it in here. Hold on. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm no Julia Childs, that's for sure. I mean, I could pretend to be Julia Childs right now. And now we are taking the butter and we are putting it into the giant mixing bowl. And then what we are going to do is add our sugar. Okay. But sugar, yes, we do have to add the sugar. All right, so 3/4 cup of sugar. Again, I don't want these too sugary because no need. Cupcakes are fine without being super sugary. And we're not really doing frosting today. I like them plain, plus we don't really need the added sweetness. These are going to be just fine on their own. All right, so let me move this sugar out of the way because it's kind of a biggie. All right. This little cabinet is indeed very little. Pardon all the noise. Okay. Whoo! We did it. Okay, so now we're coming over to the mixer and we're gonna blend this up. Where did I put my, oh, there it is. I was like, where did I put my mixer thing? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna beat this until it's light and fluffy. Here we go, you guys. All right, do it. Get fluffy. Boom, boom, boom. Got a nice beat. All right. All righty. There we go. Okay, so now that that's all creamed up, we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Spoons of vanilla extract. So let's see. Peg's like, whip it good, da, da, da. Crack that whip. Ash just says the cupcakes are the light codes to get to 5D. Heck yeah. Peg says she never did see the completed Yule log. I put it on my Instagram actually. So I put that, did I put it in the stories? I might have put it on Desert Cauldron's Instagram, But yeah, go back and check the posts, check desert.cauldron on Insta, and check Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, because it's on either one of those two accounts. I know I posted the completed picture and it was delicious. Dude, it was so freaking sweet. We had to like give some away. It was just too much. um, Ooh, Edgar's Goddess. I pulled out 4 cards for you. This is for Caitlin. First card was Death. This confirms transitions and changes in your life. Second is the Page of Coins. You need to show more determination. Don't allow yourself to be trumped. Exactly. Okay. So going back over here, I got my huevos. And we're just going to put these in one at a time. Okay, there's one. We have our second huevo. So let's let that get blended first before I put in the second one. Okay, and then we're going to do our 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Actually, I need to get more vanilla extract. What the heck? Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Work it. Work it. Anybody else dance in the kitchen? Okay. That's enough, my darling. Alrighty. Put this little clip here. Alrighty. Let's move some of this out the way. Am I gonna need any more of these? No, I can actually put my measuring instruments away. Okay, so the reason for putting the eggs in one at a time, making sure they're like really well mixed in before putting the next egg and the vanilla extract, is we want these cupcakes to be light and moist and fluffy. And so if we just kind of like toss everything in all together, it doesn't really set right. Things like start to separate because they haven't been coaxed in really. And so you get more of a hard kind of cupcake, and they're a little bit more dry that way. So you kind of have to be a little gentle. So just like with people, like I said, all these ingredients are symbolic of us. You know, you can't really be too rough with us. You can't just put us all in a room and be like, you will make something. You know, it's not that way. It's like, hey, you come on over here. Let's dance a little. You're looking fine. Let's come over here. Let's dance, you know, and everybody comes together, and all of a sudden you're moving and a grooving, and you got some moist cupcakes. So oh, Lily, hey, what's up? Let's see. Susie says, thank you, Tara, for sharing each Sunday with us. It's always something I look forward to. Well, thank you. Edgar says, I can taste it already. Peg says, love that you made it, Russ. Oh, Russ is here. Hey, dude, how are you? John's like, you gotta dance in the kitchen. I know, right? That's what kitchens are for. Peg's like, we're having cupcakes. John says, I'm a chef. It's a rule. Oh, nice. You're a chef? Dude, that's bomb diggity. I dig it. Peg's like, she said moist. I know. Sometimes I don't know what it is about that word. Russ says, I was sleeping another day away. Looking forward to big changes. Nice. Everybody's saying hello, skis. Peg says, I know. I hoping Brigid confirms my birthday will be a good one for all of us. Ooh, nice. Astro said cupcakes and a massive multi-dimensional light spiral. Yes. And so Peg has a birthday. So is your birthday today? Oh, your birthday is April 8th. Ooh, okay. So we're coming up on it soon. Excellent. All right. So the next portion, we're going to kind of combine little by little the flour mixture with a mixture that I kind of set off to the side. And that is, I had to kind of create my own buttermilk. So it's milk and lemon juice, actually, because I don't have any buttermilk on hand, but I needed a half a cup of it. So normally, like, the ratio is 1 cup of milk to 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and you let it sit for a bit. So that's why I did this beforehand, so I had time to sit and kind of curdle a little bit. But I only needed half a cup. So I did half a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, because we have some lemons that we got from our neighbor. And then half a cup of milk. So, and somehow almond milk seems to work, even though it's not actual real milk. It still somehow curdles. So, oh well. There we go. So we're going to put this in intermittently, just little by little. So I'm going to mix this back up again. And here we go. We're going to put a little bit of flour. With a little bit of the homemade buttermilk. I'm going to scrape down the sides just a little bit, make sure everything is getting nice and combined before we add more. And like I said, I may have to add more flour. I'm not sure. Sometimes I do with the spelt flour, but we'll see. Okay, here we go again. You're looking good, baby. All our little ingredients friends are already creating something new. All these unique, different consciousnesses and individuals coming together to create magnificence. A little bit more, here we go. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit more flour because we're just alternating. Okay, so we got flour. Again, a little bit more of our homemade buttermilk. Here we go, mix it up, mix it up. All right, got a little flour stuck at the top of this whirligig device. Okay. And now we're just scraping down the sides once again, making sure that everything is getting mixed up and we have no friend left behind. Yeah, get it? I like when it goes high speed. I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna put on low again, and we're gonna put in the rest of this flour and this buttermilk. Okay. And the buttermilk. Okay. Okay, let's scrape down the sides again. It looks like I might add a bit more flour to give it more oomph, you know? I want it to be a little thicker. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Oops. Let's get one of my old measuring cups. This'll do. That'll do. Okay, so we're gonna put in a little bit of flour. Okay, let's keep her going. Let's see how that does. Okay, let me just make sure this all gets mixed in. I just want to add a little bit of flour at a time, not too much at once, because sometimes I overcorrect too much. Things get all jacked up. So, and that's kind of like why I like baking, is because I never feel like I perfect anything. Like, there's so much to learn each time. You have to be totally present, otherwise like you mess something up. You know, you use a tablespoon instead of a teaspoon, or you meant to put a half a cup but you put a quarter of a cup, you know. So it's kind of a meditative process, I think, for me. Okay, this is starting to look a lot more like it, so all right. Okay, mix this up a little bit more. Yeah, get crazy, do it. Okay, one more scrape down and I think we are good, I feels. Maybe a little bit more flour, just a touch. I mean, just a touch. Okay, that should be enough. Yeah, that was the touch that I needed. That was the touch. All right, so just scraping down the sides because like the flour gets stuck up on the sides here. around and around they go. Okay. How we doing here, folks? All right. Oh, that's good. All right, that's all, folks. Let me unplug that. Get this out of the way and this out of the way. Okay. All right. We got the beater. That's good stuff, man. All righty. Let's make sure all mixed in here. And then we're going to put these, filling them about 2/3 of the way up my little prepared muffin tin. The oven is probably all set to temperature. It was set to 350 degrees, which is like your average baking temperature. Okay. And I'm going to set some of these things to what you call it? Soak. So we're just soaking now. So that way things don't get all crusty. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to put my other supplies in here to soak when I can get to this at a later time. Okay. So we're going to take our little muffin tin. So let's come back over here. And I got these little like liners. I don't know, I thought they were fun and festive. But that's going to be for our cupcakes. So I'm going to grab this and we're just going to pour a little into each one. So again, about 2/3 of the way. Trying not to over pour. Because we don't want a muffin top, you know. Or maybe we do. This mixing bowl, by the way, is super heavy. This is like a lot of glass. So I'm just like using my concentration power not to overflow these. Okay, let's give my arm a break here for a second. Made a little messy. Just cleaning up the tin a little bit. I know, so professional. All right. Let me get to these two over here. Okay. We may have a little batter left over. Maybe I can make a few more. That would be nifty. Okay. Oops, a little too much in that one. My bad. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Let's see, do we have enough batter for one more? I don't think so. Well, we tried. Or actually, yeah, there might be batter for one. So I guess maybe I would put this in for one more. I don't know. I don't want to waste any batter. Okay, guys, this is going in the oven for about 23 minutes. So if anybody wants to help us keep an eye on the time, 23 minutes is what we need. Okay, let's see, what time is it anyway? Okay, see, 23 minutes would be 7, 8, 9. Okay. Oh, thank you, Susie. Susie's going to be watching the time. Excellent. Okay, sorry, let me just blow my nose real quick. Okay. Alrighty. Whew. So 9:28 a.m. ish. Okay. So yeah, Susie's got an eye on the time. Thank you. And yeah, then we can, while we're waiting for these to bake, it's time to do our channeling. So we were going to channel the goddess Brigid. Let's see, let's go back here. Lily's like, OMG, love it, Susie. At least I got her. I've been resonating with her lately. Lisa says some bad vibes flying around here. Really? Oh no. Susie said she is a mermaid too. Nice. Oh, it looks like Susie was pulling a card for Lily. Nice. You guys been having some lovely conversations, it seems. Astro says, West Coast represent. Yep. Lily says, yes, the waters have been calming me. And even after a shower, which I always thank the mother of water while showering. Excellent. All right. So, you know, just needed to do another test. Ah, so Lily, you're going through it right now, dude. I think it seems like in different areas of our lives and in different ways, because we're all different people, a lot has been coming up for us, I think. So I think, at least for me, baking helps to calm me down, bring me present, bring my mind back into focus, have me in a like gratitude type energy, you know, as like, again, I was mentioning all the different ingredients, things coming together, trying to put my intention into something. Of course, I have to do my shadow work too, my meditation, but baking is just one other way I like to like incorporate soothing energy, I feel. But yeah, you know, for everybody that seems to be going through some stuff right now, I sympathize. I send you guys tons of loving energy as I always do. Yeah, and hopefully just with our goofy fun chat, it at least helps to lift some spirits and raise the vibes a little bit, you know, and I know that you guys have a wonderful way of doing that. So I appreciate you guys. Okay. Let me just wipe down this mixer so I can just like push it away. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm out of here, peeps. Until next time. All right, Chica. Mwah. I will catch you later. Love ya. All right. So let's see. Let me just get all the flour off of this. This is like a flour disaster. There we go. And a little bit more. All right, well done. Oops. Things go a little cray-cray in the flower department. Whoa. All right, so let's get down to it. Let's do a little channeling for Goddess Brigid, which many pagan like to invoke, usually during Imbolc and other times of the year. And she's also known as Saint Brigid, as she was canonized by the Catholic Church in order to help to convert our pagan ancestors by taking some of the deities and turning them into saints. So we'd be more likely to convert our religion. So, if you don't know who Goddess Brigid is, she is actually a Celtic deity, which spans several countries. And of course, there are other countries that celebrate her as well. But oftentimes she's seen as, you know, one dealing with like animals in the forest, but also like metalsmithing and, you know, many other things. Some people like to have the anvil or the hammer of Brigid that they like to wear. I actually have one of those necklaces just to kind of honor that goddess. Oftentimes she's also seen as connection to fire, like rebirth and things like that. So when we're getting closer to springtime, and we notice that things are stirring, we have all the birdies that are coming out, plants are starting to kind of come out of the ground just a little bit, even though that, you know, during February there is still much snow across the country and other parts of the northern hemisphere, other people getting rain and things like that. But there are the stirrings of spring, and so it's usually seen as a fiery type of energy because things are not the still and silent winter that it used to be. And so it's often associated with that goddess of kind of creation and fire and making of things. So I know that there are many of you that do work with Goddess Brigid, which is why you guys voted for a channeling of her. So if you'd like to share any information that you have about her, or maybe personal ways in which you work with her, please put that in the chat so that we can share that. And for the people that watch the replay, they can read what you guys had to say about her. Let's see. Lily said, take care. Bye-bye. Nice meeting you. That was for our friend Liesel. Peg says, I pulled past, present, future, 7 of Pentacles, Jack of Diamonds, and the 3 of Clubs or Wands. Nice. All right. So, are there any questions that you have for Brigid? Just maybe some simple questions that can try to keep in my like ego just while she's coming through, some things that maybe I could try to remember for her that she could try to answer during the channeling. So let me know. I'm just kind of cleaning up here a little bit. But yeah, and then we'll do our channeling. I probably don't need my apron anymore. I think we're done making messes, but you know, I can't be quite sure. All right. Sorry, there we go. Maybe go like that. I'm just trying not to hit my microphone. Ugh. There we go. Okay, just putting that away. Okay, so this is love her. So past, a 3D material world changed to shed stagnation. Present, something new, maybe new guy, opportunity, money, financial, or abundance. Future, get ready for creativity and action, new connections. Astral said the term star mother was floating in my headspace before I knew this being, if that connects with anyone. Ah, all right. Okay. So let's go ahead and get our little channeling in and we'll see what comes through because I don't know what Goddess Brigid has to say. All right, stay hydrated. Gotta keep it hydrated. And since we're not baking anymore, I could probably let my hair back down. We're not getting hair in the muffins now or the cupcakes. um, let's see. Peg ask about the upcoming eclipse. Ooh, we can do that. I can remember that. All right. Sorry, I'm just like, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm just gonna kind of lean on the table here. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that question in mind while we go inwards. Fire, awake, not just land, not just animal. The universe awakens. 23. The 23s are becoming significant. Your 23 date of your calendar, the 23 age, the 23 frequency, and the 23 hour. You ask of the eclipse. If all is controlled, a set program, why do you feel that the program would have these alignments? Much like aligning marbles or pool balls on a table. What happens when the lights go out? Why do you feel things must be worked in darkness? Who comes out when it is dark? Those wishing not to be seen, those wishing to be incognito. Keep an eye out, so to speak, for the unseen at the eclipse. Do not look with your two eyes, but look with the eyes of your soul. For when you do, the truth would be hiding in plain sight, as it always is. But it's eclipse that helps us to focus in on what we cannot see. So many try to see the ring around the sun or the ring around the moon. It is a time when humanity brings their focus into looking into the darkness. But it's only a reminder of what you should be doing every single day. What is lurking in the darkness, it does not need to be literally dark to look into the shadows. What is behind what another human is saying? Read between their words. You cannot do this with human ears and human eyes. You can only do this with your soul. And you cannot wait for another human to give you the answers. Everyone in their own time. Only you can find the answers. And your answer might be different from someone else's answer, but it's an answer nonetheless. There will never be one answer for this planet, for this universe, with all the different dimensional beings, whether they be planets, stars, galaxies, people, plants, animals, minerals. All are unique and vibrate at frequencies that are different from one another. Therefore, how can there ever be one answer? There is not. People want to know, when is the great awakening, where every being will be awake? The answer is multifaceted, because we are all in various different timelines and various different frequencies. Outside of the box, there is no time. And so the awakening is all at once. But in your linear time, the awakening could be tens of thousands of years ago, presently, but also years and years into the future, almost at intervals, but still at the same time. 23. Many want to know, when is my new earth? When does the new earth get here? If you sit around waiting for your new home, waiting for your ride, waiting forever, on something outside of yourself, you will wait for all eternity. At some point, you must take action and decide that you bring new earth to you when you choose to have new earth. Some are already in new earth. Yes, yes, they are. Some of you are waiting. Waiting means I'm relying on something outside of myself to give me the permission to start something new. If you knew your soul and how powerful you really are, you know that you decide when something happens. You align your frequency, you set your intention, and you just know that it will happen. but it is the ego that deals in time and waiting, waiting, waiting. And I know for many, time is up. The fire is burning. Let the eclipse remind you that looking into the shadow is always available. You do not need to wait for a celestial event. Again, it's a permission slip. Look onto it. 23. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. My hearing has gone out in one ear. Wow, I really can't hear. Oh, 5 minutes to cupcake check. Thank you, Susie. I'll probably just do a little check ski right now while I try to like regain my hearing. Ooh, they're coming along nicely. But I really can't hear in my ear right now. That's interesting. Like my ear is all plugged up like I'm underwater and I can hear myself talking in my head, which is like really like distracting. Oh, okay. Ooh, vision's all blurry, ears all out. All right, let's see. Let me go back. I missed some of your comments. Sue said, wow, a grid shut down, Tara. The lights go out. Uh, Sue said, maybe not a literal shutdown. Peg said, this is so good. The veil is going to drop. This is only some will see. Astral says, I am 23. Ah. Susie says, be in New Earth now. Peg says, I will. So true. It's a process for sure. Peg says, that was awesome. What kind of energy was that? I was trying to tap into Brigid, and it was just like, it was like I was tapping into fire and ice at the same time. So I'm like shivering like I'm cold, but also sweating because I'm hot. And my hearing is still out. So I think my blood pressure went way up and like knocked out my hearing a little bit. So it's a little muffled. But oh my goodness. Astrolight says that was fun. A bucket came through on my end too. How fun. Yeah, Brigid, I will say, yeah, has such an intense energy. It's like a fire and ice energy. It's I don't know, not solid really. Like she has this very like it's a very like movable, I don't know if that makes sense. Like just how it feels in my body, like this movable type energy. And so when she's talking, I don't know. I can't really describe it other than I can't hear. Half my hearing is gone. um Russ said, wow, what a beautiful and accurate confirmation from Goddess Brigid. Her words verify what I'm realizing now. Yeah, the only thing she kept focusing on was like 23. So I don't know. I'll probably have to do a meditation myself and like see what my higher self has to say. Like, what does 23 mean to me? Um, interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna have to play this back because I don't usually remember all of my whole channeling. So so that way I can yeah, listen in on what she said. Oh, Susie said the 23andMe genes. Ooh. Hmm. That's interesting too. And John said I pulled Prudence from Terra Volatile. It's the Hanged Man alternate card, duality and extrasensory vision. Duality is coming up a lot as well. Like everywhere I look, I keep hearing duality. So that's interesting. And Susie said maybe an upgrade in DNA. could be. I mean, I don't know. I've been, I guess, personally feeling a little weird lately, but I thought that was like because of the full moon and things like that, but it could be more. Um, where I barely slept last night, but the night before, I literally slept for 12 hours. Like, that's not normal for me. I mean, I sleep like a normal like 6 or 7 hours a night, but to sleep 12 hours and still be tired afterwards was crazy. And then last night, I think I slept for 5 hours and I'm wide awake. So I don't know, my sleep schedule's off. My dreams are always a little wacky, but they've been extra wacky. Um, I don't know, just kind of how I feel and my body just feels different. Like some days I'm like so lethargic and I don't want to do anything and I honor myself. I don't try to push myself when I don't feel like it. And then other days all I want to do is just like run around. Like I got so much fire. So it's kind of like that Brigid's energy was like that stagnation, go. So interesting, dude. Um, Russ says numerologically, the number 23 is associated with the energy to manifest dreams into reality. It is the number of creativity, self expression, and imagination. Oh, 1 minute to cupcakes. All right. Um, well, that makes sense. If it's coming from Brigid, I would say that those words that you just said describe her. John says, or our feet in different timelines. Ah. John says, why else would we be in uh, so much chaos? Ah, yeah. Oh, the light crystal cupcakes. Okay, yes. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Astro Lights. Let's take a look here. Ooh, I'm going to put a little, I'm going to insert a knife into one of them. Just make sure they're absolutely done. And they are. Let me just wipe that off. Okay. Didn't really use that knife. All right, homies. These little babies are done. Okay, I'm gonna put this up to the camera so maybe you guys can get a little sniffski. So these are our little cupcakes that we made for deities like Brigid, but also our ancestors. So I'm gonna leave probably a couple of these outside for the ancestors from this area, but also my personal lineage of ancestors, and also the deities that I connect with, which are also aspects of myself, in honoring that. And I like that they're small and cupcakey so that James and I don't like overeat them, you know. So we'll just like one for me and one for him, maybe for today. And then we'll just ziplock the rest. They should keep for a while, but dude, they seem really light and springy, so I'm really happy with my creation. um, let's see, do I have anything to add to them? I mean, I don't want to do any frosting really, because I think that's like too much. Hmm. Maybe I could put sprinkles on them. I don't know. I mean, I doubt the sprinkles will like stay because there's no frosting, but you know, maybe we could give it a try. No, they won't stay. That's okay. I tried. Um, what about these ones? These have little stars. Ooh, maybe I'll do that. I'll put a little star in each one. That's cute. I'll show you guys in just a second. Just give me a bit right here. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. It's nice and simple. Actually, okay. So I put a little star, I don't know, on top of each one. I don't know why that looks so cute to me. But yeah, okay. So it's got a little something. It's got a little flair. Okay, I also wanted to, never mind. Okay. Let me just put these away. And then, oh yeah, we have to do our weekly reading. So let's do that. Oh, and let me just turn this off. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I was doing laundry earlier, trying to wash our blankets now that it's not so cold anymore. I don't need all the blankies. Okay. All right. So let's get back here. Let's do our weekly reading. So let's see what we have cooked up for this week. Let me go back here. Peg says they look so good. And my hearing is coming back. I'm not shaking anymore. Like I'm not cold anymore. So I think the energy's finally leaving me. So that's good. Peg said food porn. I got goosebumps. Susan said, well done. I can smell them. They are delicious. Peg says you can run a stick of butter over the top, moisten them, and then sprinkle. Ah, that's a good idea. We'll just stick with our little star there. Russ says, do we have permission to remote view your kitchen to smell the cupcakes? Of course you do. Susan said, also, Tara does super chats and super stickers for any questions. Yes, I do. So just let me know. Susan saying, please hit the like button. Thank you. Lily said, Peg, was those 3 cards you pulled for the collective? I was having a deep conversation with my daughter and went to go catch up. Ah, oh, so Peg said they were actually for you, Lily. Nice. Okay, so let's dive into our weekly reading. And yes, afterwards, if anybody wants to do super chats or super stickers, I'd be more than happy to do it. Wow, man. Brigid's energy was kind of intense. It's like my hearing's going out again. What the heck? Okay, so I have my Wally's World here today. I also have my Rose Oracle, and I also have my Fond de Cycle Kipper. So, what was it? Fin du siècle. Siècle, yeah. I was like in my French app trying to figure out how to pronounce it properly. Okay, I want to start off by asking Wally what message he has for us. And so these are my cards here. And by the way, there may be another oracle or 2 in the works. Possible collaboration with some friends and a new friend that we met. So 2 different kinds of oracles. Of course, I don't think it would happen this year, but maybe like planning and working on it this year, but just, for future reference. So just so people know, oh, wow, you're a big bird. Holy cow, that is the biggest blue jay I've ever seen. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a card for this week. Let's see what Wally has for us. Peg says, you got magical times coming your way. And Susie said, that is happy news. Okay, so I have my Wally's card put off to the side. And I thought it would be fun to do a little Kipper reading with you guys as well. All right, so we'll start with Wally. Ah, we have the Basilica near the Vatican in Roma, Italia. So, yeah, actually, I took this picture when I was in Rome. I was in there for a couple of days while I was spending weeks in Italy for the opera. But I have photoshopped Wally up at the top of of the Basilica. So let's see what he has to say about this upcoming week. Okay. Wally says that there are this week some of our old belief systems surrounding our, I would say, our spirituality or our religion is coming up for us, especially those that have shadows surrounding particular religions or spiritualities. Like some people may have been raised a particular way and have either programming or trauma due to being raised in a particular way. So that could have an effect, or probably does have an effect on the present, just in various different aspects that the ego wouldn't be able to quite recognize straight away. So we would have to go into meditation and kind of see like where do these old like religious or spiritual wounds affect us in our present life. So this is something to check out this week because it seems like some of those aspects are going to be coming up for us in the religious sense and in the spirituality sense. So let's see. Susie says she just drew Mary Magdalene again for the upcoming week, Courage and Visionary. And that's interesting. I think that's the second time you were mentioning Mary Magdalene. And actually, I just like, with my little bit of extra cash I haven't really bought anything for myself in probably like a couple of months. So I decided to get a deck and I got the Mary Magdalene deck. So I'm super excited about it. Really feeling her energy strongly as of late. So, but interesting. So having some old beliefs and feelings surrounding religion, the religions that surrounded us, how we were raised, um, yeah, just spirituality in general, like things that maybe were part of our spiritual sphere when we were like, let's say, first awakening, and kind of where we are now. But just things to take a look at. I don't really see anything like tumultuous, like intense coming up for us, but just things to take a look into because again, it's more to be healed and transmuted, cleared away so that we can make room for what Brigid was talking about. All of those things that are coming to us. We decide when in our timeline, in all our various timelines, because we're all in different aspects of it, when we would like to have something come to us. And it's all about shifting the energy within us. If I want something to come faster, I better work on some things that might be blocking it so that I can clear them away so I can make that thing, come faster to me. So thank you to Wally. All right. And it's so hard to talk right now because I can only hear myself talk in my head because my ears are plugged. All right. So now I'm going to use my Kipper deck here. And I love Kipper so much. I love Lenormand, but there's just something about Kipper that's just rocks my world. Whoa. All right. So that's another card. Flew off to the side. Okay. All right. We have high honors. Let's see. John said, realizing I no longer need to hate the abusive system I was raised in, being grateful for the ability to tap in from a young age. Nice. Yeah, I dig it. All right, we have high honors with the lovers, with gift and despair. Okay, so let me put these together. I just have to have a good look at them. Ah, I get what it's trying to say. Okay, so let me lift these back up for you guys. Okay, so the Kipper cards are saying that this week, one of the gifts or one of the things that we're being shown this week really is an area of our life where maybe we feel saddened or frustrated in. So it could be in the romantic sphere, it could be within our career, it could be within our home, we could be having beef with a friend. Uh, not the beef you eat, like beef, you know. And seeing that from a higher perspective, hopefully, being able to see that whatever issue we might be going through, in whatever area of our life it is really trying to show us something about ourselves and our manifestation ability and what we do and do not want and how we align ourselves with things. And so, let's say my best friend and I are having an argument, and let's say we're actually having a falling out, like we're deciding we no longer want to be friends. I could take this as a thing where like the universe hates me and my friend is against me and why does this happen, and I could really internalize it and keep it narrow focused. That's a choice I can make, and that's my choice. We have free will to do that. Or I could say, why is this happening at this time? Although it doesn't feel very good to have this person who was my best friend no longer be my best friend anymore, um, what is this trying to teach me? And is there a reason I would want this friendship to continue? Or has the friendship run its course and have we helped each other as much as we could help each other? And this is just how the friendship had to end. Has my energy changed in any way? What is my 50% of this relationship? How did I contribute to the ending of this relationship? And how did my friend contribute to the ending of this relationship? Um, and what are the pros? What are the cons of this friendship ending? Um, Going inwards, the ending of this friendship, is it leaving room for something else that I can't see? What's the lesson in it? What are the feelings that are coming up for me? Is there something that I need to heal that has really nothing to do with my friend, but more to do with the feelings and something from the past that my feelings are trying to show me? And so there's a lot of healing in that, and there's a lot of unblocking of that. And so, many of us, we are wanting to, go to this new earth, so to speak. We do want to ascend, we want to elevate our energy. And so the way to do that is to have this kind of broader perspective. But of course, that's always our choice. Sometimes we're just not ready for a broader perspective. And that's your free will choice. That's fine. We're all on different journeys. Some of us are ready to have a broader perspective, and it will be quite stinging to the ego. The ego doesn't like change, the ego doesn't like to be wrong, it doesn't like things pointed out. And it's not that it's evil, it's just that it's trying to protect the human being as best it can. So it doesn't want its human being to be sad, hence it doesn't want changes. Because changes mean having to learn new things, having to be in a different energy. And that can be quite scary to the ego because it doesn't have an intuition. We have the intuition, but it doesn't have a soul um, in itself. So it can't really see a future. It can't really put all the puzzle pieces together and see where this is going to lead. But that's where our higher self comes in. And our higher self says, okay, thank you, ego, for showing me, your perspective. Thank you for showing me where I need to heal, where my blockages are. So we can thank the ego for that. But now I'm going to utilize my manifesting power and my ability to heal because I am a multidimensional being. I am source. I am the all, just like you guys are the all. And I want to take action with this situation. I want to take my power back and take action. So it's just something to keep in mind for this week. Let's see. Lily said, John, so true and hard to do. Congrats to you and being able to shed it. I told my daughter all should come from the heart space, even the trauma we learn from it, and become better from it. Susie says, remember to address challenging people with compassion without sacrificing your needs. Angela, hey, hey, so blessed morning, everyone. Hope all is well today. I wish everyone cake and peppermint milkshakes and send so much love your way. Susie says, Angela, we missed you. And Angela, speaking of cakes, look what we made. We made cupcakes. Peg said, juggling, keeping everything in balance, coping with demands, getting people to work together, making sure all areas are covered, moving forward smoothly, emphasizing all aspects equally, being flexible, adapting quickly, feeling free to try new approaches. And Peg got the 2 of diamonds pull for the collective. And John says, I'm a challenging person too. Well, I think we need the challenging people. I would say James could be a challenging person, uh, but he helps us to grow, you know. So I like to. I hope I'm a challenging person too. I don't know about that, but maybe I could learn from the challenging people in my life that maybe I want to be more challenging, so that I could help others through, I would say, conflicts that arise, not trying to make conflicts, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say, that bringing things up for people so that they can look inwards and see where they could heal on their own. That's kind of my thing, self-empowering. Lily says, I definitely gonna rewatch and journal those questions. Thank you, Tara. Very enlightening. And John said, we all are. True, 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 true. And John says, it's not an insult, just part of being human here. Exactly. Yeah, I don't find it as an insult at all. I think that that's awesome. Like, you know, I think I've always appreciated the people that challenged my beliefs and challenged my way of doing things. Maybe at the time my ego didn't like it, but in the end it's helped me to grow the most. Whereas the people that just like were like, oh no, you're always doing wonderful, like, they don't give me any real feedback. They never really tell me the truth. Is harder to grow from that. But also, I could see in myself, like, how am I that way as well? Like, how do I, like, maybe sometimes don't tell people the truth, or to avoid conflict, or how do I try to be too soothing when I could be more in my power to help other people be more in their power. So I think, whatever we consider ourselves to be, we're great teachers and students. So um Angela said, you're so welcome. Thank you for being a beautiful person, Susie, and lots of hugs for the whole chat. Yes, yes. All right. So, speaking of the whole chat, all right. So, we got our weekly reading out of the way. If you'd like to do super chats and super stickers, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll do a meditation. Maybe we'll do a cupcake meditation. I don't even know how that would look. I don't know. I have to consult my higher self. My higher self's the one that does the meditations. Um, Wow, it feels so nice next to this oven. All right, so I'm just gonna have a little bit of batter. Alrighty. So Angela, the cupcakes that I made, they're just little vanilla cupcakes. They're just kind of plain. Um, but they have a little bit of sweetness to them. It's more to get your kind of breadiness in, I guess. And I put a little like star sprinkle at the top. I don't know, kind of give it some flair. John, all right, our buddy John. Let's see. John, let's give you a choice. Do you want me to use the Rose Oracle or the Kipper? And what is your question? Or perhaps some general guidance. Actually, let me get the Rose Oracle out of here too. Okay. Alrighty. Angela said, ooh, simple and goes with everything nice. With wish sprinkles, yes. All right, so John is going with the Rose Oracle. Sure, sure. And I'll give these a shuffle while you think about your question, or if you would just like a general message from the higher self or from whomever. And by the way, I think the cupcakes are cooled enough. I could probably show you guys one of them. John says, I'm going to trust the general. Okay, okay. And Lily says, I uplift people and help people grow. Tara, when you uplift people, you need someone to uplift you. You do that for me. You always help me and give me what I give to those who I help figure it out and grow. All right. Well, thank you. And yeah, you guys, you do help me like tremendously, which is why I love this live chat so much. Angela said, and as for how to read cupcakes, eat one, scry in the crumbs like tea leaves, and watch how the batter swirls. That's amazing. I love it. All right, John, let's tap in. Let's go with John's higher self. Okay, John. Like in buildings or on an airplane, how there's that do do do. Attention all passengers, or attention all people. Attention all customers. So it's like this do do do. Attention, attention. Okay. Let's see. We have Temple of the Rose, ancient power, expression, activation, and scarlet codes. This is a beautiful card. Okay. So let's dive into this one. Okay, your higher self says that there have been quite a quite a lot of synchronicity lately of a certain thing mostly in particular coming up over and over and over again. And that's because you're being called to really focus your attention on a particular area of healing. So I know that we heal as things come up for us. Sometimes there's something triggering or something that we have a think about, and we go inwards, and we kind of heal as we go. But there's one major area, and I actually just want to look into it real quick. First, I'm just trying to find it in your body. It's not physical, but I I like look at the physical, and then I kind of determine from there. But okay, so it's around the stomach region. So this to me looks more like sacral chakra. Okay, so it's things having to do with your creativity, your sexuality, your self expression, the way you love yourself, the way you love others, how you live in flow. That this is a massive area that's been coming up for you, perhaps in different facets, but it's all stemming from the same type of area, which I keep seeing as like the sacral area. And so your higher self is asking you to make more of a concerted effort to really dive deep into the roots of why certain things are coming up for you, because it has such overreaching branches into all areas of your life. Like When you think of creativity, it's not just drawing a picture, but it reaches into your intuition. It reaches into, how you view the world. It reaches into your ability to be empathic. It reaches into your career, how you associate with friends, what you bring into your life is all stemming from this creativity, sexuality, self-expression. And so there, your higher self is saying to really work on that because there's a lot of coding that isn't yours in that area, meaning programming from when you were much younger, but beyond this lifetime, going more into past lives as well. Coding telling you how you can express yourself, how you can grow, what ability you're allowed to have. And your higher self is saying, if you remember, you're an infinite being. Infinite means no restrictions. Infinite doesn't mean putting you into a box. It means the all. It means no labels. And so if you make more of an effort to work on this, you'll start to see some of the bigger changes that you've been quote unquote waiting for in your life. The signs that you've been waiting for, which are really signs that you give to yourself from the energetic realm. And also, your higher self was saying that during the Brigid channeling, when she kept mentioning the number 23, the number 23 is also very important for you. And your higher self is saying, so if we were to focus on this lifetime, think about everything that was surrounding you and what came up for you when you were 23 years old. And also going back further into meditation, and it was saying something about when you were in utero with your mother. 23 weeks. 23 weeks in, there was an activation when you were just an infant. Interesting. Okay. Whew. Whew. That one got me a little hot. Wow. Interesting. Wow. Thank you, John, for letting me tap into your higher self. He was on fire today. Let me tell you. Let's see. Let's go back again. See your comments. Angela said, I had a cake disaster where my cupcakes were crumbly, and as I decided to try that, it was fun. Says, I try and read strange items just to see if it works. Me too. I do that as well. This is the cupcake one was fun, but didn't come true. Ah. John said, red has been coming up a lot lately. Wow. And Angela said, true. It's been playing the long game that, because I did it on my last birthday when I dropped a piece of my cake. And then Susie pulled Kuan Yin for John, forgiveness. And says her lotus is a red one in the art too. Wow. And she said 11 watching 111 minutes ago. Wow. Dude, the synchronicity. 23, isn't that the 11th hour? John says, yes, I keep making myself small in life. And Angela said, ooh, such a pretty card. Hugs. I've got my Mama Gaia statue. I'll see what she has for us. Statues and dolls are great for reading. Just touch and feel the vibes. Life, I found them accurate when I do it for myself. And Susie was saying the 23 again. Astrolights is like music. John says, I need to tap into the activation. Thank you. I'll definitely need to come back to this. All right. And Lily, all right. And it says for Lily, let's celebrate their 10th super chat on a live stream. Yay! Lily, it says, has my relationship run its course? He's an awesome man, but I feel As I have no voice, as I type this, my higher self is telling me I'm being selfish, but I'm leaving the original question. Okay, has it run its course? All right, all right. So let's do this. Let's give this a little shuffle, shuffle. Okay, now I have a bush playing in my head. The chemicals between us. The chemicals between us. The loves that all between us lie in this bed. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Maybe I'm going to listen to Bush after this because I legit love that band so much. Gavin Rosdale. All right. All right, Lily. We have the rose thread, inner call, soul led, the mystic, living courageously. So let's give you a little close up on that card. Since these cards are freaking beautiful. All right. Okay, your higher self's coming through. And your higher self is saying that this man in your relationship that you have a relationship with right now, that he's representative of the males of your past. That it's not really something really specific with him that's coming up for you. It's what's coming up from your past. And so it says to think about your father, think about uncles, grandfather, not really romantic partners, but thinking about male family members and your male teachers that you had in school. How did they make you feel? Did they help build your self confidence? Did they teach you how to speak your truth? How involved were they in helping you with your throat chakra and your heart chakra? And your higher self is saying, and it's within there that you'll find the real reason that you're finding difficulty in your current relationship. That there are some in the past that are being superimposed onto him. But also, he's here to show you where those things in your past need to be healed. If there's something within the relationship that you feel that you can't do, or you're not being allowed to do, you're not being offered the space to do something, you have to see what your 50% is. Why am I not allowing myself to create my own space to speak? Why have I maybe not solidified my boundaries? Yes, we do have to have boundaries with even our romantic partners, the ones that we love. It's just a form of self love for us. And just as we hope that they have boundaries for themselves. So, in essence, he's trying to teach you unconsciously about making space for yourself, making space to speak your truth, making space to say what you believe in, to speak your mind, to speak from your heart, and also to create boundary. Because going back into the past, there's a programming about waiting. Waiting when people allow me to speak. Like in school, I can't talk until I raise my hand. If I want to go use the bathroom, I got to raise my hand. I have to ask permission. These are things that are just ingrained within us. We're trained to do these things. And so we take all of these things and they end up influencing all aspects of our lives. And in this case, your romantic life. And what you know about boundaries, what you've been taught, is how you've brought that to the relationship, just as he has done so as well. How he's been taught to speak is also how you've been taught to speak. And so, thus, there is a communication breakdown of sorts. But your higher self is saying you can take this any way you wish. You do have free will, and if you do decide, I feel like the relationship is done and I would like to finish it now, of course that's your choice. But your higher self is saying there is a lot more that you could learn from this if you instead take yourself away from the relationship and see what are some things from my past that I could heal that is going to help me in my current relationship while I try to practice standing in my power, while I practice my boundaries, while I practice voicing my truth. Even if it causes conflict, because it's actually what helps people to grow. And it says from there, by doing that, that's when you decide if the relationship has run its course or not. Perhaps not right now, because it's in the active healing phase and actively implementing that healing to the relationship. Now you can gauge where your partner is at, healing wise. Does it seem like your partner is ready to heal with you? Because obviously, when you shift and change, you're changing your vibration, which is going to either cause the other person to shift and change as well, or they will reject it entirely and move away, in which case it would become absolutely clear that yes, the relationship is finished. But your higher self is just encouraging you, no matter, you're of course entitled to your choice, but your higher self is encouraging you to see if you can go back in time and heal some of those old wounds and see how it impacts your relationship moving forward. And from there, it'll be much more clear whether or not this relationship is for you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lily, for letting me tap in. Uh, let's see. Let's go back here. Do. Angela said, the Mama Gaia statue's messages: stay as calm as you can. If you won't be upset about it in a year from now, breathe it out and release it as quick as you can. Small things we carry up and release. So, Angela said, little irritations don't ball up into larger ones. Astrolight says, what happens on the 23rd super chat? I don't know. Is there fireworks? That would be cool. Angela said, for anyone who wants a visual, my Mother Gaia statue is green with leaves for her hair, the earth for her belly, and plants and animals carved on her skin, and tiny animal statues in her hair, and a human statue. Leela, like it was saying anything horrible, like that men were bad to you in your past. It's just like programming. So like men could have had the best of intentions, like father figures, uncles, grandfathers, cousins, male cousins and brothers and things like that, having the best loving intentions, but conditioning you somehow to how you're allowed to behave with the opposite sex, like how you're allowed to speak, how you're allowed to interact. When is it appropriate to have conflict and when is it not? And so, especially since if it's done in a loving way, we don't really see it programming, but it is. And so it's going back and seeing what the programming was, what the traumas were. We usually, when we think of trauma, we think of like a really bad event, but trauma just means somebody else putting their own programming and their own shadows onto us inadvertently, even if it's done in a benign way. And so going back to see if you can reprogram and change that and see how it affects your present relationship. And if it affects it to such a degree where you can clearly see, like, yes, my partner is willing to grow with me on this, we're going to do this together, while my partner also tries to go back and look at his own programming and his own upbringing, even if it was, as lovely as can be, there's still going to be programming in there. And either we're going to work together, or the other person is going to be so adverse to your new energy that they're just going to push themselves away, and in which case it becomes more obvious what to do from there. Let's see. Do, do, do. Let's see. Susie said Blue Terra, transmutation of anger, which is what she pulled for Lily. And Susie said, so hard, sorry that happened to you. Angela said, hugs, Lily. I'm so sorry you went through that. Healing hugs. Susie says, I feel like this chat is in flow today. Yes, we're in the zone. Oh, Lily, I love you too, girl. Susie said, so many synchronicities and signs. And Angela says, I did another little statue reading for you, Lily, with Mama Gaia. Astrolight said, yee, being so cosmically stimulating. And Lily said, thank you, guys. I'm grateful to you all. Much love. Angela said, the message was, there are cruel people, but for every cruel person you meet, you can count 2 or 3 more good ones. Most of the time, good outweighs bad, and it's okay to be upset about your past. And Lily said, wow, Terry, thank you so much. What would I do without you? It makes so much sense. You're very welcome. Angela said, but don't get so consumed you're overtaken by what happened and can't see a way ahead. There is always a way, and bad times never on its way. Second that. Astrolight says, yeah, this is a big thing with us taking on gender with us from Generation Z. Yes. All right. Well, if there are no other super chats or super stickers, we could get to our meditation, and maybe it'll be a cupcake meditation. I'm going to leave it up to my higher self to do that because I don't even know how I would do a cupcake meditation. Then let me just move these off to the side here. And wow, this has been a fun chat. I loved baking with you guys. I love the channeling, even though my hearing never really did return. But I'll do a meditation later. I think I just need to do a little cosmic flush of energy. As kind as Goddess Brigid is, sometimes entities leave their energy, and so I just got to flush it out. But anyway, if anybody wanted to see the little cupcakes, this is what they came out looking like with the little star at the top. So cute, so cute. I don't want to eat one yet because I want to take a picture. Okay. All righty. So let's get ready then for this meditation. Susie says, thank you all for being here, for contributing so much. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody who popped in today, everybody who pulled cards, divined from their statues, or pulled down information from their higher selves, everybody who did super chats, everybody who gave some helpful tips for baking. Susie, who was our timekeeper, thank you. And our wonderful moderator, thank you. Thank you, Susie. Lily said, thank you, guys. I have a phone call. Love you. Many blessings to you. Thank you for being here for me in my crisis. Thank you for all the clarity. You helped me so much. Have a great rest of your day, Lily. Angela says, they look so tasty. OMG. Okay, so let's bring our little tripod over here. I'm going to close this. Whoa. Now I got big face. Oh. And we're going to look down at these cupcakes. Maybe I'll just move that out of the way. Okay, yeah. There we go. We're going to do this cupcake meditation. Let's see. Astral Light says, I just about to start posting channeling stuff, and sorry if some of my team are rough getting the 23 message in. They can be darker, but some special op stuff we'll be pulling in, making new space for the post. Alpha timelines. Nice. Russ says, this setting in your kitchen baking gave this show such a beautiful feeling of family togetherness. It's loving, nurturing, could bring a tear to one's eye. Thank you, Tara and the Mod Squad. Ah, well, you know what? I feel like all the best discussions and everything, all the best healing always comes in the kitchen or around the dinner table, you know? Angela said, hugs and cupcake vibes, Lily. I manifest you cake and a positive shift. All right, so here we go. I'll just be right here. All right, you guys, go ahead and get yourselves into a nice, comfortable space. Some place that you will not be disturbed for the next several minutes. You could be in your bedroom. You could be under a tree. You could be lying down, sitting up, or reclining. Whatever position is most comfortable for you. And now I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. Just feeling the rise and fall of your chest. Just noticing our breath. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Do I feel it mostly in my throat? Or do I feel it all the way down to my tippy toes? And as you continue breathing, I want you to imagine that your favorite scent of baked good is wafting into the room. Really try to manifest this scent. Does it smell fruity? If so, what fruit? Is it sweet? Does it smell bready? Can you smell the frosting? Try to manifest this smell in as much detail as possible. With your eyes closed, we awaken into the astral. We are now in the kitchen of your heart. And in the astral, you stand up and you start following your nose towards the delicious baking smell. Sniffing it out. And eventually you make your way into the beautiful astral kitchen. What does it look like? Is it made of stars? Or perhaps it reminds you of a kitchen you were once in when you were little. Perhaps a grandparent's kitchen, or the kitchen that you grew up in. And standing next to the oven is a representation of you. You could see this representation as a guide, as a grandparent, as a best friend, or perhaps just a mirror of yourself. But your soul is wanting you to come and bake with them. All the ingredients are all set out. But your higher self wants you to be the one in charge of making more of these delicious baked goods. What is it that you're baking? What does it look like? Is it large? Is it small? What color is it? What do the ingredients look like? And as you pick up each of the ingredients to place into the bowl, we look at the meaning of each ingredient. If you were to pick up the ingredient of an egg, what is the message really about this egg? You're putting it into your cosmic mixing bowl, so surely it has a meaning. What part of you is represented in this egg? Do this for each of your ingredients, be it sugar or flour, baking soda, vanilla, perhaps lemons. Maybe you're using apples. But how do each of these ingredients speak to you? How are you reflected in these ingredients? How are the ingredients that you have chosen representative of your life and how you choose to lead it? And now we take all of these ingredients, and one by one, as you contemplate each one, seeing yourself and yourself's message in each ingredient, we place it in the bowl. You take your magical spoon and you mix it all around, watching it come to life. It starts to glow and sparkle. These will be indeed magical baked goods. But there is a purpose for creating this, and what is it that you are creating with all these beautiful aspects of your life? Perhaps we can allow the baked good to show us. So when you have finished mixing, hand the bowl off to your higher self, and together we're going to pour it into the pan or the tin. The shape of the vessel is also representative of your creation and what it is that you want to manifest. And we pour the batter in. Perhaps we add fruit. Perhaps we add little candies. The choice is up to you. And once we have all the batter out into our chosen container, we pop our creation into the oven. And this being the astral, and this being a cosmic oven, we don't have to wait very long for our manifestation. For much is like manifestation in the 3D world. For what we do in the astral has immediate effect on our 3D life. And so in no time at all, our creation is complete. And we pull it from the oven. What is it that you created? What did it come out looking like? Is it in the form of a building? Perhaps it looks like a 6-tiered cake. Perhaps it came out as muffins or cupcakes. Maybe you made heart-shaped cookies. Maybe it resembles your own face. The possibilities are endless. Perhaps it came out like a round soccer ball. In the astral, There are no limitations. Your baked good could look like quite anything. But in seeing what you created, you're given a message. What came out is representative of what you are currently manifesting at your truest level. And in seeing this, we now can see how the different aspects of our life, our different choices, have created what we have seen before us. And even if what we see doesn't look pleasant to the eye, it still has a sweetness, meaning there's always something else, a lighter message, for there's light and dark in everything. And so we thank our higher self for allowing us into the kitchen today and showing us what we have been creating. And now we know how we can either improve, how we can continue on the same path, or perhaps we want to bake something else entirely. But now we have the knowledge and we have the power. We are the bakers of our own destiny. And so you walk back to the place in which you are resting, and you feel your astral body reacquaint itself with your 3D form. And when you are ready, you can feel your fingers, your toes, you can give them a wiggle, and you can stretch and open your eyes. All right. Thank you, you guys. I'm curious to know, what did you guys bake in the astral? What did it look like? It may not have looked like a cake. It may have looked like something rather interesting. But yeah, I'm curious. Let's see. Let's go back here. Angela is talking about some of her yummy poems. She says, I did carrot cupcakes with cinnamon and sugar icing. Ooh, Russ smelled powdered sugar. Angela says, I astrally put them on a plate so you all can have one too. Russ says, 23 in relationships may be experiencing a spiritual awakening in which they are being guided towards their true path in love and life through a higher power. Susie has white frosting on gingerbread cake. Ooh, that sounds so good. Or buttercream frosting. Angela says, that is amazing, Russ. She says, may everyone's astral cakes manifest for real along with the good they bring. And so it is. John says, a toad jumped out. That's cool too. Toads are usually like, toads and frogs are abundance, multiplicity, quickly moving. Usually they're seen as good luck. That's cool. Angela said, lucky groggy. John's kidding. Oh man, that would have been cool if a toad popped out. Angela says, let's all sit down to an astral party now. Susie said, Mr. Toad's wild ride, John. All right, you guys, I thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen today for a nice little chat, a nice little homey chat, baking up these little cupcakes. Cake day is actually on Wednesday of this upcoming week, so it's in 3 days. But, you know, I'll have a little cupcake now. And of course, there will probably be some by the time we come up to Wednesday, but we're going to leave some out, one on my altar. I'm going to leave some for the deities that I connect with that are also aspects of myself. I'm also going to connect with my ancestors, which are also aspects of myself. And just leave them a little offering, which is gratitude to them, but also gratitude to myself. Just a little 3D representation of that. But I thank you guys also for listening in on the Brigid channeling. For this guided meditation, for all the super chats and super stickers, for all of your lovely guidance, Angela's beautiful poems, the cards that you guys were slinging for each other was just magnificent. And I thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out, you guys. Love you.